Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to be your guide as we break down some incredibly powerful concepts from Jen Sincero's You Are a Badass. But today, we're looking at her insights through a very specific lens. We're going to decode the badass blueprint for radical transformation, specifically for you entrepreneurs and founders out there. You know the feeling, right? If you've ever felt like your business is just hitting a brick wall and you can't figure out why all your late nights and hard work aren't translating into scale, well, you're in the right place. We are going to explore how profound mindset shifts are actually the true drivers of massive business success. So let's dive right in.
Seriously, why is it that some people can completely change their lives, launch thriving startups, and scale their revenue to the moon, while others just stay stuck in the exact same place for years? I mean, every single founder out there has the exact same 24 hours in a day. We're all facing the same unforgiving market challenges, the same economic roller coaster, and yeah, the exact same fears of failure. Yet, we see this universal founder paradox everywhere we look. One entrepreneur scales rapidly, while another stalls out completely.
So look at this massive divide in the business world. On one side, you've got your action takers who are actively scaling up. On the other, entrepreneurs who are just completely stuck in place. And according to Sincero's insights, the real bottleneck holding you back, it's not a lack of talent, it's not bad luck, it's not even a lack of discipline or capital. No, the core reason is actually way deeper. Most people, even super ambitious founders, are literally living inside an invisible cage of their own limiting beliefs. Your business right now is simply reflecting what you subconsciously believe you are capable of.
To fix this, we need a roadmap. Today we're covering 1. The entrepreneur's invisible cage, 2. The subconscious worthiness ceiling, 3. Breaking the business autopilot, 4. Rewiring your money mindset, and finally, 5. How radical accountability drives growth.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the entrepreneur's invisible cage.
You know, the author of these insights wasn't born a millionaire. She transformed her ordinary life by deeply studying the psychology of success. And what she found was that the biggest trap we fall into is this invisible cage made of toxic, subconscious thoughts. Things like, I'm not good enough, I won't succeed, this isn't for me. Every single time you try to launch a new product, or pitch a major investor, or push for aggressive growth, these thoughts play on an endless, looping playlist in your head. You might consciously want to build $1 million company, but if this is the script running in the background, you're basically driving with the parking brake on.
Which brings us right to Section 2, the subconscious worthiness ceiling.
Here's the hard truth. Most people don't get what they want out of their business because deep down, they subconsciously don't believe they actually deserve it. You want more revenue, right? You want to lead a larger team or pivot to a much bigger market. But those negative thoughts we just talked about, they create an artificial ceiling. They put a cap on your business potential because you end up subconsciously sabotaging opportunities that exceed what you think you're worth. To fix this, you absolutely have to follow a specific cascade effect. Mindset, then behavior, then results. You have to fix the internal mindset first. You literally cannot skip straight to the results because when you change how you view your own worthiness, it directly alters your daily behavior, like how confidently you speak to clients or the risks you're willing to take. And only then does that altered behavior actually yield the tangible business results you've been hustling for.
Okay, moving on to Section 3, breaking the business autopilot.
Did you know the vast majority of our decisions are totally automatic? As founders, we so often operate our businesses on pure autopilot. We repeat old habits, old thought patterns, old actions, and then we sit back and wonder why our profit margins have stayed exactly the same year after year. Operating on autopilot is incredibly dangerous, guys. It means your critical business decisions are being driven by comfort and routine instead of active, conscious, and aggressive strategy. So to break out of this, I want to challenge you. Next time you notice a negative thought popping up, like, oh, we can't charge that much, or I'm way too inexperienced to pitch that huge client, just pause. Stop and ask yourself this exact question. Is this an objective fact, or is this just an old program running in my head? I'd bet 99% of the time it's just outdated software in your mind that desperately needs to be uninstalled. Spotting it is the very first step to overriding it.
Now, a quick warning. Once you override that autopilot, you are going to feel exposed. You're going to feel uncomfortable. And that is exactly where you need to be. Growth always starts with discomfort. If you only stick to what's comfortable, your business will never scale, period. Starting a new venture is terrifying. Networking with industry giants, terrifying. Public speaking, terrifying. But that discomfort is the exact coordinate of where your new opportunities live. So here's the most practical advice I can give you on this. Force yourself to lean into that discomfort. Do at least one scary business-expanding thing every single week. No excuses.
Let's jump to Section 4, rewiring your money mindset.
Look, you can have the absolute best product in the world, but your specific financial beliefs will subconsciously dictate how much revenue you allow yourself to generate. A lot of entrepreneurs actually hold deeply negative views about wealth without even realizing it. They might subconsciously think money corrupts people, or that massive wealth is reserved for some exclusive club and they just aren't on the guest list. And here's why that is totally fatal for your business. The brain always tries to confirm what it believes. If you secretly think wealth is bad, your brain will literally make you avoid lucrative business opportunities just to prove itself right. You'll underprice your services, or you'll accidentally self-sabotage a major deal right at the finish line. Just think about some famous founders who had to tackle this exact issue. Oprah Winfrey grew up in deep poverty. Howard Schultz of Starbucks grew up in the housing projects. Before they could build their billion-dollar empires, they had to radically rewire their money mindset. They had to shift from a belief in scarcity to a belief that wealth is just a neutral, powerful tool for scale. Your brain is going to find whatever it's looking for, so make sure it's looking for abundance.
And that brings us to our final core concept. Section 5, radical accountability drives growth.
Okay, so we've talked about the cage, the worthiness ceiling, the autopilot, and the money mindset. Well, the ultimate silver bullet for destroying all of these mental blocks is adopting a relentless framework of total 100% personal responsibility. Let's compare. Think about the stagnant founder. They blame the economy, they blame their investors, or they blame their circumstances. And hey, as long as someone else is at fault, you are completely helpless to change the situation, right? But the radical founder, they take 100% personal responsibility. And you don't do this to beat yourself up or assign guilt, you do it to reclaim the absolute power to change your reality. Once you stop blaming external factors, your decision-making becomes incredibly fast and razor-sharp. And that is exactly what drives explosive business growth.
So how do we actually put all of this into practice today? Here is a fast-paced, actionable checklist for you. First, actively track your beliefs. Catch those negative loops the second they start. Second, stop underestimating yourself and the value you bring to the market. Third, do scary things weekly. Seriously, go pitch that dream client. Fourth, do not wait for the perfect moment because, spoiler alert, it doesn't exist. Fifth, take absolute responsibility for your current metrics, good or bad. And finally, just allow yourself to actually want more. Want more impact, want more scale, and yes, want more revenue.
To wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a final, somewhat provocative question. Take a hard look at your business right now. Is your current plateau really due to a lack of market opportunity, or is it simply a lack of belief in what you can actually do? The biggest barrier to your growth isn't out there in the market. It's sitting right there between your ears. It is time to shatter that invisible cage, claim your worthiness, and start building the empire you absolutely deserve. I highly encourage you to reflect deeply on this question today. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and go do something scary this week.